Kia ora koutou. Fancy seeing you guys all the way out here. Haere mai, come and sit by the fire.
Ko Kieran taku ingoa, ko manawaru te mauna, ko whakatāne te awa, ko tūhoia hau. The two aspects of our model that I'm going to be discussing today are connection and character. Connection for us was one of the key pillars of wisdom, so to be wise, you must be connected. Just like everything in this ecosystem has a role and is connected, school is a system based on connections. From a socio-cultural perspective, teaching is a social and relational practice. This means you have to make connections with a whole lot of people. Knowing what you know and what you don't know is part of being wise, so forming connections with colleagues and getting support is probably pretty wise. Connecting with students is also imperative, so finding out their interests, abilities, learning styles and needs will go a long way in being a wise, responsive teacher. Also, connecting the curriculum such as competencies, values and learning objectives with planning, policy and standards are another example of the wisdom of connections for teachers. From a Māori perspective of wisdom, connection is everything. Connection to family, iwi, the land, the oceans, rivers, the forests, the mountains, connections to ancestors who passed on their wisdom of language, culture, values, traditions. In my introduction, I acknowledged my connections, which form part of my identity. This is important because in this increasingly multicultural society, connections and understanding your own culture, as well as the culture of your students, the school, the community, is imperative in developing culturally responsive teaching practice. Sternberg noted that there are fundamental values that are almost universal in terms of relating to each other. While some values are totally unique, most are universal. This can enable you to connect meaningful pedagogy and context with the diversity of your students. The second pillar of wisdom is character. Character comes from a Greek word which refers to certain qualities that distinguish one person from another. Character is being true and genuine to yourself, your values and beliefs. We all have different backgrounds, skills, beliefs, values and experiences that form who we are. It is important that as teachers we embrace the difference in character with an inclusive, empathetic and caring environment. We should also be aware that we are covertly modelling a way of being to our students, as we are also overtly trying to develop aspects of character which are conducive to today's world. So that relates to key competencies and values. Beyond the dispositions of character is the interdependent concept of action. A famous writer, Henry James, once wrote, "What is character but the determination of incident? What is incident but the illustration of character?" What he meant was that character informs action and action expresses character, whether you are conscious of it or not. Parker and Palmer said that teaching, like any truly human activity, emerges from one's inwardness, for better or worse. Therefore, because we teach who we are, self-awareness is an important aspect of wisdom. Self-awareness brings intentionality to your choices of activities, planning, resources and context. Therefore, we need to know who we are and why we do what we do. We need to understand the theological foundations of our identity and theoretical foundations of our pedagogies, which form our individual teaching characters. So, there we have it whānau. Connection and character are essential elements of wisdom. Kia ora.